Hey everybody! So today's Friday. That means it's time for my Friday favorites. And so this week I thought I would share with you all of the movies that I saw in March. And I thought this would be a really fun way to keep you guys engaged on what I'm watching on Hallmarkies, as well as in the theater, and because I don't talk about that enough on this channel. And so you get a chance to hear my thoughts on some of those movies as well. I'm just going to say whether I think it's smile worthy or frown worthy. And that should be pretty fun. So here we go. With a movie called To Dust. This is an indie about a Jewish man, a very strict, observant Jewish man who is very troubled by dreams he keeps having of his wife has just passed away, and he's very worried that she was buried wrong, and so her spirit is not going to be able to go up to heaven and get any sort of sense of peace, and he can't have peace until he figures this out. He ends up meeting or seeking after the help of a biology professor at the local community college, played by Matthew Broderick. And they start to study and try to figure out what happens as we decompose and what would happen to his wife. And it's a comedy, and not all the comedy works. It's dark comedy, obviously. Not all the comedy works, but I thought it was really sweet. And they developed a really unlikely friendship, a nice friendship. And there are some pretty disgusting scenes of decompositions. If you have a weak stomach, then it's probably not for you. But overall, I thought it was a pretty well-written little movie, and so I definitely would go smell-worthy on To Dust. Okay, then I saw probably one of my last movies I'll see from 2018, technically, is I saw Reuben Brandt, The Collector, and this is an animated film. And it's kind of a take on a heist movie. The most wanted criminal in the country that they are in, and so it's sort of a cat and mouse kind of chase between him and the authorities, and as he's stealing these paintings. And I thought that it was really cool. The animation was very different. It was very abstract, very Picasso-esque, I would say, the animation. So it's definitely worth seeing on that level. It was I thought the plot was a little repetitive, and the actual heist wasn't that interesting. And so as far as the story and the plot, it didn't really do it for me, but the animation is pretty cool. So I would give it a very marginal smile worthy. I'm really close on it, I know. I gave it 2.5 stars on Letterboxd, so right in the middle on that one. Okay, then I saw Just Add Romance. This is from Hallmark, and it's about 2 chefs that enter this reality competition, and they end up falling in love as they're in this competition, which is a kind of a clever environment for Hallmark romance. I thought it has Luke McFarlane, who is just a delight, and he's so handsome and charming, and Megan Fahey, this was her first Hallmark movie, and it had a lot of really cute dates, and there was some actual affection that you don't always get until the last, a minute of the movie on Hallmark. They had 2 kisses early, which is very unusual. And there was a really funny scene where they're caught kissing in the elevator that I really enjoyed. So yeah, this one, most of the stuff involving the show was terribly done and pretty bad, but overall, I really did think it was pretty charming. So I'll give it smile worthy. And then they had Chronicle Mysteries, Vines That Bind, and this was the best of these 3 mysteries that they did, but I was real disappointed how they integrated the podcast, and they did it very poorly, and that was disappointing. And it was just, to me, the series felt very generic, and I was really hoping, from what I'd heard, that it would be better. So this one gets frown-worthy for me. Then I saw Captain Marvel, and Captain Marvel, to me, had a really strong opening. I thought I liked seeing her and Jude Law kind of training. I liked the reveal of the scrolls. I liked Samuel Jackson, Nick Fury, and the version that special effect was incredible, and also Agent Coulson. But and then I thought it ended well with a lot of good build-up for Endgame coming, and some fun action. Just I enjoyed it, but then the middle, it gets kind of bogged down for me when they're all at that house, similar to Age of Ultron, that had some of the same problems. So it got a little exposition heavy for me, it got a little bit boring, and it has some other flaws, but overall, I thought the good outweighed the bad, so I give it smile worthy. Then we have Wonder Park, and this movie got pretty well thrashed by critics, and I couldn't recommend it because of certain things, but I do think that I do think it's a bit of a mixed bag, which other people just thought it was terrible. But I thought that there was some nice heart to it. I thought that I liked the fact that the girl felt like a real girl. She wasn't perfect and super precocious, and she could be kind of a brat, which I appreciate when they have that dynamic characters in an animated film. However, I really disliked the animation. I disliked the frame choices and how it was. The choices they made, I thought were just really unappealing, and so I really didn't care for the movie in the end. So it's frown worthy, but I don't think it's quite as bad as people are saying, is all I will say. So then we had Love Under the Rainbow. This is a movie that from Hallmark that is about a teacher and I forget what he does, real estate or whatever, a widower falling in love, and they're both kind of reticent to falling in love, but he has a daughter who believes that she will be able to connect with her mother when she sees a rainbow, or when she is able to be under a rainbow is her idea. And there's this whole like rainbow park where there's a lot of rainbows, and so she goes there, and it was really sweet. I enjoyed it. I think that Jodie Sweetin is actually really good in these Hallmark roles. I think that it's a really good spot for her. David Hayden Jones and her had okay chemistry. There was some pretty good dialogue. It's not my favorite, but I thought it was fine. So I'd give it a very, very mild smile worthy. Then we had Crosswords Mysteries. This is the first in this new series. And it was pretty clever the way that the different clues were included for the mystery in the crosswords puzzle. And Lucy Chabert plays this crossword puzzle editor, and Brendan Elliott is the tough talking cop. And I thought Barbara Niven is pretty good in it, but I don't think they gave her quite enough to do. I think that they should have, it would be nice if they could have waited a little bit longer before Lacey Chabert realizes that there's these clues in the crossword, because it seemed a little, she figures it out so fast, but I know you don't have that much time in these movies. And they have good chemistry, I think, Lacey and Brennan. Overall, it was good enough for me. I think the case was good enough, and so I give this one a very mild smile worthy. And then we had 5 Feet Apart, and this movie, your long line of sick, terminally ill teenage love stories, which is bizarre that that's a thing. I actually thought this one was pretty good. I thought both of the actors were really strong. I thought it had a nice heart to it. It definitely made me tear up a number of times. There were definitely moments that felt very unrealistic as far as, these elaborate meals and elaborate, things. And the ending got kind of bonkers for me with them, going outside and the things that happened. But overall, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a sweet enough film, so I give it a smile worthy. Then I saw Nancy Drew in The Hidden Staircase. I think that the lead girl was quite good, and I think that she looks just like Amy Adams, but she is also a good actress. Unfortunately, pretty much everything else I didn't like in this movie. I thought it was really poorly written. I thought it was really poorly made. I thought it just was kind of boring. It didn't do it for me, and so it's a shame. But hopefully we can get another good Nancy Drew movie. I liked the one with Emma Roberts a while back. So anyway, this one wasn't for me. So it's frown worthy. And then we had Flip That Romance, and I've really enjoyed Tyler Hynes in these Hallmark movies. He's so confident and handsome, And this continued. I thought him and Julie Gonzalo had pretty good chemistry. The idea that they're each renovating a different side of a duplex is sort of clever and fun and pits them against each other. I liked that. And I thought that Tyler Hynes was very dreamy in this movie, and I really liked the way they did the near kiss, because in a lot of these movies there's a near kiss and then they get distracted by a phone ringing or whatever, and this time the phone rang and they didn't pick up the phone and they just kept kissing, which is very rare for these movies, and that was a lot of fun. So overall, this is definitely smile worthy. I really enjoyed it. Okay, then we have Us. This is the new film from Jordan Peele, and I think this movie is about 2/3 of a good movie. I don't think it nailed the landing. It didn't quite work for me, and I some of the humor wasn't my favorite, and but I still liked it. I thought the acting was really strong, and I thought the scares were strong enough in that first 2/3 to give a recommendation. So I say smile worthy for Us. Then we have Dumbo. Dumbo I thought was really sweet and had a nice message and a really cute character in Dumbo. I think that I'm surprised that more people, I'm surprised how many people aren't enjoying it because I thought it was definitely one of Tim Burton's best in a long time. I didn't really like Colin Farrell in the lead role because I felt like they should have hired somebody with an amputee, an actual amputee, because I don't think Colin Farrell is that big of a draw. So you didn't need him for the celebrity. So why not get an amputee actor? But then also, I just felt like his character was kind of bland for me. I didn't really enjoy that. So overall, I thought the good outweighed the bad in Dumbo. I thought it was sweet. And so I enjoyed it. I was in just the right mood to watch it. And so I give it smile worthy. Then Shazam, I've already talked enough about that movie. I just don't think it managed its tone very well, and it was a bit all over the place for me, and so I didn't really enjoy it, so I give that frown worthy. Then we have Love to the Rescue. This is a cute little romance about two people who end up fostering this dog, but they both kind of want the same dog, and so they're kind of forced to share the dog, and their kids become friends, and I thought it did some things that most of these don't do. I thought her job was really interesting as an animator. I thought that the dialogue was pretty well done, and I thought the relationship built pretty realistically. And I thought that Michael Rady and Nikki DeLoach had nice chemistry. So for the most part, I really enjoyed this one. I give it a smile worthy. And then finally, I have A Brush with Love. This is another one of the Hallmark movies. And Ariel Kebbel is great in these movies. This is the first one she's done in a long time. So that was fun to see her back. And Nick Bateman is super dreamy. So that was fun. Some of the plot wasn't the greatest. It was a little silly, even for these things, and I don't understand why men can always have many jobs in these movies, but women, the idea of balancing two jobs is out of the question. But anyway, I enjoyed it, and I give it smile worthy. So there you go. For the most part, pretty positive. I only gave one, two, three. I think I only gave 3 frowns. So there you go, out of all those. So let me know what you think if you guys see any of these movies. I'd really appreciate it. And thanks so much. Please subscribe to my channel. Talk to you later.